Way, way back in the 1980s, there was a show called Clone High. That's a joke. That this show did not come out in the 80s. It was a reference to the show's theme song that starts with that lyric. I gotta say, I'm incredibly excited for this Clone High reboot coming out, slash continuation, because it's not really a reboot. I hate when people do that. Why do people call things reboots when they're continuations? Like it's a revival or a continuation. Use the correct words. I'm sorry. Anyways, I was seeing. Anyways, I am really excited about Clone High coming back, and so I binged all the original series on HBO Max because it finally hit HBO Max. I was very upset when this show went out of print on DVD because I don't think we're ever getting this shit back in print. Hopefully we will, but I think the rights issues are probably a mess now because I believe the show was put out on DVD by Paramount. And now it's on Warner Brothers streaming service, and that's all confusing stuff. Anyways, that's not the point. This show is really good. This show, if you don't know, was a show created by Phil Lord and Chris Miller. Now, you might know them as the people behind 2120 Jump Street, the Lego Movie, the Lego Movie Part 2, Lego Batman movie. They didn't direct, but they had some involvement with that. And same thing with Lego Movie Part 2. They did kind of with Chance of Meatballs, the first one, anyways. And and they've worked on a lot of projects. They're incredibly funny and talented people, but this is one of the first projects that they did. And basically, the concept of the show was, um, it's a parody of like teen high school shows with historical figures in high school. It's really weird, overly complicated premise, but it's really funny, and it's a great show. The writing in the show is just so funny. There's so many gags that I find new gags every time I've seen this show. I've watched this show 5 times. Okay, every time I watch this show, I find new gags, and it's a pretty short show to binge because there's only 13 episodes. There's all backstory that multiple YouTubers have covered of why this show got canceled the way it did, and it did not get canceled uh, because of um, because of any reasons that really I think affect the quality of the show. But it does mean that the show ended on a cliffhanger, which is unfortunate. It's a great show. The writing, like I said, the writing here is great. It got some really great voice acting too. A lot of these actually people went on to be in Phil Lord and Chris Miller projects too. Like the voice of Abe, I forget who played him, but he actually voices some voices in the Lego Movie, things like that. They're really solid voice actors, and there's a lot of I think the music in the show is also really good. The only aspect to this show that's really dated is a lot of the celebrity cameos in this show. Now, some of them really hold up, like the Jack Black episode where it's like a parody of the Jesus Christ Superstar, which really love that episode. The music in that episode, I'm getting high. It's just great. And that's a really good episode. But then you got stuff like Mandy Moore. Like, so I know Mandy Moore now because I'm like, oh, she voices Rapunzel and Tangled. But like, they like hype this person up. There's a episode about a teen dance show, and I just had no idea who that person was. Like, and it was still a funny episode, but it did mean that a lot of these celebrity episodes are dated and just really weird. Tom Green is in the show, and he's like Tom Green. I'm like, okay, I didn't grow up with MTV, so I didn't really know who that was, sort of thing. Like stuff like that. Just that stuff boils it down to being a little. But otherwise, I think this show is a pretty awesome show and super underrated and 100% worth a check out. If you like really funny, weird concept shows, this is a great one. It's just so funny, and I can't wait for that reboot coming out. I think it said the trailer said this uh, spring, so I'm guessing this month because, but then they haven't really furthered anything on that, so I'm hoping next month uh, or sometime in the summer somewhere. But I'm reviewing this show now, just so whenever it comes out, I've already reviewed the show. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Like, share, subscribe.